Tottenham Hotspur are your Europa League champions. It's Europa League glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur, as Ange Postecoglou delivers on his major promise. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today's video is all about last night's Europa League final. It was all about Tottenham last night as they managed to beat Manchester United by a single goal to nil. Brennan Johnson, the hero on the night, making sure that Spurs win the Europa League at the expense of Ruben Amorim's side. As Ange Postecoglou said, he always wins something in his second season, and last night he and his team made good on that promise. We're going to be talking about last night's game. We're going to be talking about what the future looks like for both of these teams going forward. But without further ado, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, about the Europa League, last night's game, and obviously Tottenham's triumph. Get involved in the conversation. Would love to hear from you all on what you have to say in that comment section down there. And without further ado, we're going to get on with the video. We're going to be talking about Tottenham and the Europa League. Look, if we're being brutally honest, last night, it wasn't the best, highest quality game of football that you are ever going to see. And to be honest, as I said in my match preview, I didn't know what to expect last night. I really, really didn't. And maybe in hindsight, maybe I should have expected something that we got last night. It was a very frustrating game, even from a neutral. I'm happy with the result. Of course I am. I did not want Man United to win in the slightest. But it was such a frustrating game to watch because it was a game that had Man United build things up and then the final ball not be good enough, or the final shot not be good enough. And then Tottenham would build something up, but the final shot wouldn't be good enough, or the final ball wouldn't be good enough. And it was just such a frustrating game to watch that there was just a lack of quality. There was a lack of good football from both of these teams. And it was sort of poetic in a way, that the goal that was scored by Brennan Johnson for Tottenham was such a scrappy goal. Such a scrappy goal to score, and such a scrappy goal to concede on Man United's part. Again, Andre Onana not exactly covering himself in much glory there. And obviously Luke Shaw as well, having a big helping hand in Spurs opening the scoring. But at the end of the day, Tottenham will not care one bit. They will not care whatsoever that the game wasn't entertaining. The game wasn't in any way, shape or form good. It won't be one that lasts long in the memory in terms of high level of performance wise. It will just be remembered as the day that Tottenham finally won a trophy for the first time in 17 years, for the first time since 2008, and Brennan Johnson will have his name in the history books alongside Jonathan Woodgate at Tottenham as obviously being a match winner on the night. Incredible, absolutely incredible scenes as well that preceded it. Tottenham fans in good voice, full voice. And you know what? Fair play to each and every single one of them. They've been waiting a long time for this. They've had to go through hell to get this to get to this point again. And especially for that man right in the centre, lifting the trophy there for Son Heung-min, I am very happy for, because he has been he's been a quality player for Spurs, a quality player for a number of years, and obviously probably deserved more from his time with Spurs, and probably could have gone on to actually win things elsewhere in his career if he'd have left the club. But he stuck it out, and now he's a Europa League champion. And you know what? Fair play to Son. Fair play to those Tottenham fans that stuck around and joined in with the celebrations, and obviously celebrated, whether they were in Bilbao or whether they were in London or wherever they're from. I'm sure that they absolutely partied hard long into the night last night, and fair play to each and every single one of them. Like I said, on the night, it wasn't exactly like it was a great game. In fact, United probably had the better of the opportunities. The Tottenham goalkeeper Vicario was forced into action on a couple of occasions to deny the likes of Garnacho. There was a header at the end that he had to do well to saving. Mickey van der Ven cleared one off the goal line. So Spurs didn't exactly have it all their own way, and United did have the better opportunities. I don't actually remember Tottenham having too many opportunities, to be honest with you. Obviously, there's the goal. There was a moment where there was a counter-attack, a sort of 2v2, that they shifted into like a 2v1. But a poor touch, I think, from Richarlison, I think it was, in the end, sort of broke the move down by Spurs. So, like I say, from a somewhat neutral perspective, although I was more on Tottenham's side because obviously they were facing Manchester United. Obviously, I'm glad Tottenham won. I did say in my preview that I wanted Tottenham to win. I didn't think that would happen because I thought that United in this big night and in this big game mentality sort of thing would actually have the clinical edge. I thought they would have the better of the chances, the better decision making, and I thought that overall they would actually win the game. But that's obviously not how it turned out whatsoever. But overall, if I have to be honest, as a football fan, wasn't the best final, wasn't the greatest, wasn't full of quality or good football whatsoever. It was just more frustrating and annoying, to be honest with you. It won't matter, like I say, one bit to Tottenham fans. They got the job done. And Postecoglou walked into that post-match interview, I guess, and basically just slammed that Europa League trophy on the table and was like, what are you going to say now? I promised, I delivered. He was probably the coldest man in football last night, and fair play to him. Come under a lot of scrutiny, come under a lot of criticism, and at least for last night, at least for one night, he managed to shut up a lot of people. I will say that I didn't think there was enough paper in the world to cover over the amount of cracks that Tottenham have had in their season this campaign, but they set out. They've achieved what they set out to do: win a trophy in their within his second season, win a trophy for Spurs. He is now officially a Tottenham legend, at least in the modern era. Fair play. They not only have won a trophy, they also achieved Champions League football for next season. We're going to be seeing Tottenham back in the Champions League for the next campaign. They achieved a lot last night. Like I say, I don't know if it's going to be enough to keep him his job. I liken it to Erik ten Hag last year at Manchester United. He won the FA Cup, of course, with the Red Devils, and then it was a big, well, he's been so poor in the league, does he deserve another chance? He did win the FA Cup, but does he deserve another chance? Tottenham have that going forward for them right now, and it's going to be interesting to see whether or not that this Europa League allows him to have another chance at at Spurs going forward. Maybe he does stick around for at least another season. Or maybe he actually does go. And maybe he does go because Levy sacks him. Maybe he does go because he walks of his own accord. Maybe he goes, you know what? This Premier League isn't for me. I came to do one thing, win a trophy. I did that. I proved everybody wrong. This would be a good point to maybe walk away from Spurs, because, again, with all due respect to Spurs, this may be as good as it gets for a while, and maybe that is to be the case. But no, like I say, fair play to Tottenham. On the other side of things, for Manchester United, look, they got a lot of things wrong last night. I was surprised by the Man United team lineup. I was surprised that he didn't go with Casemiro and Ugarte in the middle and not push Fernandes further forward. I was surprised at Dalot. I know obviously he only returned back to training this week, but I was surprised that Dalot didn't start. I was surprised he left it late with his substitutions. I thought there was a lot last night that Ruben Amorim got wrong. I think some of the chances that United created were equally matched by the likes of, like I said earlier, Vicario and Van der Ven. I felt there was some poor decision making on the pitch. There was a lack of clinical edge. There was a lack of execution, shall we say, in the final third. Decision making was poor. And like I said, it was a very scrappy goal to concede that once again the likes of Luke Shaw and Andre Onana were at fault with. The only silver lining I can say for United is that obviously this is not even the first full season of Ruben Amorim. He didn't have a magic wand when he arrived at United earlier on this season. He wasn't going to change things overnight, and he had to make do with this sort of poor squad that we all know Man United have for at least till the end of the campaign. It wasn't going to drastically change in January. So the only thing I will say is that this is probably an even bigger and better indicator for him as to who is in his plans for next season and who is not. If Andre Onana remains as your goalkeeper next season, I'll be extremely, extremely surprised. There were a number of other players as well that played last night that I think their time's up at United. They need to be moved on. I know that obviously the no Champions League football now is going to be a big hindrance, not just in terms of pull, but in terms of money as well. So it's a massive uphill battle, but it is definitely something that maybe will humble, maybe will reset. And if you have to completely reset, you have to completely reset. There is no doubt about it that taking a few backward steps in order to reassess your position and go again may actually boost Manchester United for the long-term future. I obviously hope it doesn't work out that way, and I hope that they continue to fall down this deep, dark pit that they are in. But, of course, there is always the possibility that, you know, it's always darkest before the dawn and that kind of saying. So, yeah, it was definitely a poor night from United and obviously a waste of a season, especially considering that the end of the season was purely putting all of their eggs in this Europa League basket that ultimately now has resulted in failure. It is what it is. It is what it is as far as what they're concerned, and I am so, so glad that Spurs managed to become victorious in this game. One thing I will end on, my predictions for this. I have now done 2 FA Cup and Europa League final previews this week alone. I predicted 3-2 in both games to the team that both lost. I predicted 3-2 to City. They lost 1-0. I predicted 3-2 to Man United after extra time. They lost 1-0. So maybe it's a sign that I am a bit of a jinx. And if so, I am more than happy to be a jinx to the Manchester United clubs. Manchester United and Man City clubs. Yeah, I'm very happy to do that. So, cheers, guys. But no, like, I was anticipating a much better finale last night. It didn't quite pan out that way in terms of performance, but in terms of result, I am so happy to be wrong. I am so happy that that Spurs managed to beat United and that United didn't go on to win this game. Yeah, it's great. It's great, and as far as what Spurs fans are concerned, I'm sure they are absolutely buzzing. I'm sure they're probably a lot hungover this morning. Fair play to you. Fair play to you. Cannot blame you whatsoever. But definitely the future of both of these clubs is going to be very intriguing to see what happens in the transfer window, what happens going into next season. Does Amorim stay? Does Postecoglou stay? Those are the kind of questions that we're going to be getting answers to in the very near future. It's going to be a very intriguing few months ahead for both of these sides, as obviously United look to pick up the pieces of what has been a disastrous car crash of a season, and obviously Tottenham domestically was so poor, but at least they've got this glimmer of salvation in the form of the Europa League. And there you have it, guys. Tottenham are the Europa League champions. Glory, Europa League glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur. Ange Postecoglou, the coldest man in world football right now. The coldest words that he always wins something in his second season has come to fruition. It is a reality. Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans everywhere, look on with horror. Look on with horror seeing their rivals pick up a European trophy. It is what it is. Look, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of Tottenham's Europa League glory? What do you make of Tottenham's Europa League triumph and obviously Man United's disaster last night? Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling down below in that comment section. I'm sure what you have to say will make for great and interesting reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see you speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. Speak to you again very, very soon.